One of the things that happens when a youth pastor is new in youth ministry is they oftentimes try to repeat what worked for them in youth ministry as a kid. So they'll try to do the same camps, retreats, worship services, and it may not necessarily be what's needed for their kids. And they'll do some crazy event, and the parent will come up to them afterwards, or a kid will come up afterwards and go, "Now tell me why we're doing this exactly," or even like a mission trip or a retreat. Why are we raising so much money to do this? And a youth pastor needs to have some kind of a response. Needs to know how this event, how this retreat, this trip fits into the bigger picture. And it's usually at that moment that the youth pastor figures out, I don't really have an overarching vision or mission of why I want to do this. It worked for me, God showed up for me, so therefore God should show up for my kids that way. And after you have a couple of those conversations, you quickly realize, I need to get a vision and a mission and figure out what exactly am I doing here. Now, vision, mission, they're all part of strategic planning. Nehemiah was great at this. When he was cupbearer to the king, his heart was breaking over his people. And the king turned to him and said, "What do you want?" And he had already thought strategically. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. And he had a response right there. He was thinking strategically. It's one of the things we need to begin to do as youth workers. Mission, vision, those are the two places to start. They work like rails on a train. And you need both of them. Now, mission is short. It's 1 to 2 sentences. Lori Beth Jones, the author, says it should be able to be put on a t-shirt. You should be able to recite it at gunpoint. It is the reason why you exist. Disney, we exist to make people happy. Pretty clear, pretty concise. And so we need to think through, in youth ministry, why does this youth ministry exist? We exist to help develop kids into fully devoted followers of Christ. There's a quick mission statement. Now, different corporate cultures describe vision in different ways. The way I'm comfortable about it is, what is your dream for this ministry? So as you sit back and think about, God, what do you want to do with these kids at this time in this community? What does that look like? So 5 years from now, they come back and they say, God worked in my life. What has happened in those 5 years to get them to that place? What is your vision? One way to get at your vision for the ministry is to do a process called past, present, and future. Pretty simple. To get at the past, you need to do this in community. So you need to go out for coffee with a couple of people who have been around the ministry for a while. Find out who were the heroes in the ministry, who really held it together when things were falling apart, who were the kids who stepped up when times were tough, who were the prayer warriors. But you also need to find out who are the villains. And I don't mean the bad people, but the times in the ministry where it was hard. Only 2 or 3 kids were showing up because of conflict within the group. When the group maybe was really closed to newcomers. Or somebody decided it was a great idea to serve red Kool-Aid in the church sanctuary, and it ended up all over the front of the church. Those villain times, those hard times. And so you need to find out both of those. And that gives you a good picture of what you're dealing with. So when parents are saying, we need registration forms, we need medical release forms, we need information right away, you know it's because somebody in the past really screwed up. And a kid was taken to the hospital and wasn't able to be treated because there wasn't the right medical release form. And the church was in an uproar about that. And that's why that person lost their job. And that's why you're getting so much pressure. That helps you understand. Perhaps this youth ministry was marked by strong outreach in the local high schools. And so that's why the parents or the elders are saying, we really want you to focus on evangelism, because that's historically been part of that ministry. So looking back helps you with the vision. Looking at the present, what is the emotional capacity of the group right now? Maybe one of their members died from leukemia last year, and they are just hurting. They need to know, where is God, and does God really answer prayer? Does God really answer prayer? And so for them, doing outreach right now isn't what needs to happen, because they are deeply wounded. The present, they need to focus on building strong unity and loving each other and having their faith rebuilt with a new understanding. So you ask questions about the present. Where are they emotionally? Where are they spiritually? When it comes to the social dynamics that are going on in the community, maybe there's a lot of violence in the community and we need to deal with that. Maybe there's some economic tough times and we have to scrap things like the historic mission trip, because the reality is kids can't raise $1,200 over the summer. They've got to figure out how they're going to pay for college. So looking at the present and all those factors help us determine our vision. And then we look towards the future. And that's where it takes some self-reflection, getting away, getting quiet, asking ourselves the question, what do I pound the table over? When you're at coffee or at a meal with your friends, what are you pounding the table over, saying, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what youth ministry must be about. When you're awake at 2 o'clock in the morning, what do you see? What kind of ministry pops into your head? Is it ministry to the local community college? Is it the middle schoolers who are becoming sexually active? Is it the high school kids who are beginning to be involved in gangs or internet porn? What is breaking your heart? And so then you take a look at where have we come from, what's going on right now, where is my passion for the future, and then you begin to develop your vision. And out of that then comes the mission, which is, this is why we exist.